Hodge. We're continuing our breaking news story at this hour. Gary Sinise has been involved in a wreck, and he will not be here for the concert on Saturday or at the race on Sunday. And I've got John Hodge with the tunnelsfortowers.org organization. And of course, they are the folks that have been putting the concert together and putting all these events together to raise concern for J.B. Kearns, and of course to also help him build that house in Ararat. John, thank you for giving us a few moments today. I'm sure this has been a hard day for you.
Yeah, it's a very difficult day. Look, when we first got the news, all we really cared about was that Gary was all right.
Right.
And the bottom line is that whatever his injuries are, apparently they're not serious. He's going to be fine. And, everything else after that can be resolved. We are absolutely in the process of coming up with an alternative date. This is not canceled. It's just postponed. He's committed to doing the concert and the fundraiser for JB, and he wants to make sure JB's house gets built. So we'll be announcing, I would say within a couple days, what the new alternative date is.
Right.
And at that time, we'll honor all the tickets that have been purchased so far.
Well, let me ask you, because I have to admit, I've become pretty impressed with you guys and how organized you are and so forth, and just how this community has come out for this. Because from what I understand, at last check, there was like 200 tickets to go. This was going to be a sold-out event for sure.
We were absolutely, I didn't even check in the last couple of hours because I had a couple other things going on, but
right.
We were heading for a complete sellout for sure. So the community has come out in force. They wrapped their arms around this kid, and he deserves every last bit of it. And we were really looking forward to doing the concert. And Gary was insisting I would go ahead and do the concert. But we think at the end of the day, people wanted to see Gary, and they know his commitment to the troops and the Marines. So that's why we decided to postpone it so the people actually get to see Gary.
Right. Now, I know you can't speak about Gary, but was the wreck in Washington?
I can't speak to any of the details because I've been running around so much.
Okay.
All I know is that he had an accident. I know one of the national networks is reporting it was Washington. I have not been able to confirm that because it really wasn't of any real importance to me.
Right.
For what we're doing here. Again, when we heard he was in a car accident, all we cared about was, is Gary all right? That's the most important thing.
Right.
So we understand he was a passenger, and we understand he was in a car accident. The extent of the car accident, I don't even know, to tell you the truth. No other location.
Well, Gary is very important to your cause, isn't he?
Well, yeah, yes. Gary Sinise Foundation and the Tunnel for Towers Foundation formed this partnership specifically to build homes for America's bravest. And to that extent, he's important to us. What's happened since then, because he's just such a spectacular human being, is that, there's a real fondness and admiration and affection for our buddy Gary. So again, that's what we're most concerned about right now. Everything else we can deal with later.
Right. Well, John, a lot of people have come to know you in our community and so forth, and probably most people don't know this, but you're a mayor in your own hometown in New Jersey, correct?
In Connecticut, actually.
In Connecticut. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I got that wrong.
I'm not owning up to New Jersey. Ouch.
Okay.
Ouch.
Okay. But
even half the people from New Jersey won't up to the fact they live there. Now I'm going to get letters. Thanks.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, you are so into this. I mean, it doesn't take but a minute or two of being around you to know how passionate you are about helping these soldiers that are coming back with these problems.
Well, Stephen Siller was my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know Stephen Siller's story, Stephen was a member of the New York City Fire Department on September 11th. And he heard the call while off duty on the scanner in his pickup truck. And he turned his pickup truck around and went back to the firehouse, got his gear, hopped on the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway, trying to get back into Manhattan to go to the World Trade Center. And the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, which is the method he was trying to use, was closed to inbound traffic. So Stephen Siller abandoned literally his truck in the middle of the highway, put on about 75, and ran from the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel and all the way through Lower Manhattan to the World Trade Center where he ultimately perished. So, it's such a compelling story. The fact that he's a family member makes it, so much more personal and maybe even compelling to me. But, at the end of the day, we often wonder, Charles, what was Stephen thinking when he was running through that tunnel? Because he had a wife and 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And, we come to the conclusion that no matter what he was thinking about that day, I don't think he could have ever realized that this one man's run through the tunnel would turn out to be an enormous positive benefit for many, many lives. And that's what we've made it into. We took something that was completely evil and turned it around to something that's completely positive. And to that extent, we're building a home for JB, but he's only one of over 40 people we're going to be building homes for.
Mm-hmm.
We're building homes for all the triple amputees and the quadruple amputees, and we don't plan on stopping there either. They're just the most severely injured, so we're starting with them. So, I'm passionate about it, in case you can't tell.
I can tell, and that's what the community is embracing you, because they can see just how passionate you are to make sure all this happens, and so forth. And I've been honored to meet you, because it's good to see people that really do give back to their country and give back to the people that fight for our country, and it's just really impressive. I've got to ask you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
One of the things that's really important to the fire department, the FDNY, which is fire department for the city of New York, is that they feel as if they were the soldiers on the first day of this battle on September 11th, and that thereafter it was handed off to the Army, to the Marines, to the Navy. It was handed off to them, and they know that none of these men and women would be in harm's way if September 11th had never happened. So they are just so phenomenally, tremendously invested in making sure that to the extent they can, they want to take care of these wounded warriors.
Well, let me ask you, how will this affect the Sunday event? Will you guys still have a presence there? Is that still being worked out?
Yeah, Gary was scheduled to be the Grand Marshal. That's not going to happen at this point. I'll leave it up to Martinsville. I know they were working on a couple of other Grand Marshals for the event, for the race that day. As far as everything else we were going to do, it's still a day about J.B. Kearns. That's what it was intended to be. It's still about honoring J.B. for his service to this country. It's still about raising money to build J.B. a home.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of these homes, no matter where we build them, is at least $500,000.
Wow.
And depending upon where we're building, sometimes it cruise up to close to $1 million because of all the smart technology. So nothing is going to change on Sunday. We're moving forward, and JB is going to be here. And, if you want to see a sight, an inspirational sight, you watch this young man with all his courage and valor climb the tower here at Martinsville Speedway and wave that green flag to start the race, because that's what's going to happen, my friend.
Right. Is there any way we can get you to stop by our studio just for about 15 minutes, in the next hour? Is that possible?
Not in the next hour, no.
Okay.
Why don't we talk a little later? Maybe we can stop by later tonight or tomorrow or something like that. We'd love to talk to you guys.
All right. We'll definitely get it worked out, John. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time today. I know it's gotten pretty crazy, but the concert is still on. It's just not Saturday, right?
That's correct. It's not going to be Saturday. It's postponed. It's absolutely not canceled. And, we have, through Gary's people, Gary really wanted to make sure everybody knew he's coming. He's still going to do this concert. So sit tight. We'll let you know what the new date is.
All right. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
That's John Hodge. I call him Mayor. He is just on the phone telling us that what we heard is true, but Sinise has been in an accident. But apparently he's okay, but he's not feeling okay enough to be at the concert tomorrow night. We're going to have more of this coming up here on Star News. We just encourage you to stay tuned. And we've got more coming up on the fire in Bassett at the top of the hour. And I'm going to be on the phone, and we're going to find out more about this accident that Gary Sinise has been involved in. We're going to be talking to Mike Smith, hopefully, from the Martinsville Speedway, and asking him how it's going to affect things. So stay with us. We'll be right back.